This is the Learnit Lounge, a podcast brought to you by Learnit. In each episode, I sit down with HR and L&D leaders to explore how learning programs have sparked real change, unlocked growth, built trust, and transformed the way that teams work. Hosted by me, Dr. Mickey Fitch-Collins, a facilitator and learning designer at Learnit, this podcast brings you the stories behind successful learning strategies, direct from the people driving them. Learnit is a live learning platform that's helped over 2 million professionals thrive inside some of the world's most respected companies. If you're looking for a partner to help you do the same, our contact info is in the show notes. Welcome to the Learnit Lounge, where learning leads to measurable impact. Welcome, everybody. Mickey Fitch-Collins here, your friendly neighborhood leadership and professional development facilitator and host of the Learnit Lounge. And I want to welcome you to another solo episode of the podcast. Today, I want to share something that's become an absolute game changer for me, not just at work, but in life. It's not a trendy hack. It's not some AI-generated productivity voodoo. It is my shutdown sequence. And no, I don't mean like powering down my spaceship. I mean the last 20 intentional minutes of my workday, something that I've been doing pretty consistently since about February of 2023. And let me tell you, it has radically improved my work-life integration. If you work from home like I do, or even if you just want to stop carrying your work brain to your dinner plate, this episode is for you. So let me set the stage. I work from home, right? I've got my office downstairs. I've got 2 little kids upstairs a few days a week. And I've got a professional brain that just doesn't know how to quit. And for the longest time, I would end my workday in this messy and just disjointed sort of way, just kind of dragging my brain across the finish line. I'd close my laptop and boom, mama mode activated, or so I thought. But it wasn't really working. I'd still be thinking about a workshop that I just facilitated, or an email that I forgot to send, or some client information I need to go through. And meanwhile, my 4-year-old's handing me some plastic dinosaurs or a unicorn like it is some sacred offering, and I'm only half present. That was not okay. So I started researching ways in which for me to end my workday, and that's where I landed on this beautiful mixture that is my shutdown sequence. Something to help me transition from professional Mickey to personal Mickey. From being the facilitator and being the podcast host to being the mama, the chef, and the floor puzzled teammate. So here's what I do. The first thing that I do is I preview my calendar for the next day. Not just a glance, I mean really look. What are the known appointments? What workshops am I teaching? Who am I meeting with? Clients, colleagues, that kind of thing. And then I look at my time blocks. Yes, I am a time blocker. I am not ashamed to admit. If you looked at my calendar, you think I was auditioning for some time-themed Broadway show or some rainbow unicorn vomited all over my Outlook. But those time blocks are what give me clarity. It helps me mentally prepare. It helps me have containers to my workday and get things done. I'm not waking up the next morning going, what am I walking into? What am I working on today? The next thing I do is I open up my Microsoft To Do. I love it. It's simple, it's clean, it works on desktop, it works on mobile, and I write down, in fact, I don't even need to write down. The first 5 things that I'm going to do in the morning are already there. And I will tell you, as many of you know, I'm a morning person, right? So I already have a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the things that I'm going to do when I first sit down at my desk. And the reason why I have that is because I know my energy peak is early in the day. That's when I am the sharpest, the fastest, and let's be honest, the most pleasant. So I want to use that energy for real progress, not just dithering or staring into the abyss of emails or Teams messages or staring at that big long to-do list. I want to get out of the gate running. Then what I do is I make a separate list, 3 priorities for the day. These are the big picture things, the projects that need movement, the relationships that need tending. Sometimes it's prep that proposal. Sometimes it's check in with so-and-so. Sometimes it's make sure you reach out to this special connection on LinkedIn. It's a signal for my brain that says, hey, don't forget this stuff. Even if the day goes sideways, this is the stuff you're committing to getting done. The next part of things, this is going to make those IT folks out there maybe twitch a little bit. But I'm going to be honest here. What I do, the very next part of the shutdown sequence, is I open up the files, the tabs, the tools, everything that I'm going to need the next morning. I do not shut down my computer. Maybe that's bad news, but what I do is I let it sleep. Tabs open, documents at the ready. And the reason for that is because I want zero friction the next morning. No hunting for the document I swore that I saved. No guessing what tab had the meeting notes. It's like setting the coffee pot the night before, except that the coffee is my Word docs and the coffee pot is my desk. Then, and this is probably the most important part of the shutdown sequence, is I do anywhere from a 2 to 10-minute meditation. This is really important. And I want to get really serious about this because what I find is that this tiny little ritual is my bridge. It calms me down. It tells my brain, hey, we're done with work now. It tells my body, get ready to do something different. Get ready to be present with your wife. Get ready to be present with your kids. Let's transition from working to living, right? This is work-life integration, folks. This is why it drives me nuts when people say work-life balance, because there is no such thing. It's the integration, right? I do this 2 or 5, or sometimes it's even an 8 or 10-minute meditation. And what happens is when I walk upstairs, those 12 steps from my office downstairs back up to rejoining my family, I'm not dragging these tasks and these ideas and these projects. I'm not dragging that stuff behind me like a ghost. I'm arriving, present, available, ready to go. Because here's the thing, is that other people deserve more than our workday leftovers. And so do we. Since bringing this shutdown sequence into play, like I said, around February 2023, I want to tell you a little bit about some of the things that I've noticed. I am much more present at home, for sure. But here's the other side of things, is that I'm way more focused at work. My mornings are smooth. I hit the ground running instead of floundering. I don't waste my best brain energy and my best physical energy on decision fatigue. I've also noticed that I don't work late. I don't spiral into that one more thing syndrome. I finish the day on purpose, not by accident, because the clock ran out. And honestly, it helps me leave my professional persona at the metaphorical door. I get to shift away from facilitator Mickey to human Mickey, from having slick slide decks to putting on silly socks and playing games. So that's my shutdown sequence. It's not fancy. It's not complicated. It doesn't cost you any money, but I will tell you, it is absolutely transformational. If you're someone who struggles with boundaries at work, especially if you work remotely, I encourage you to try it. Even just try just a couple of the steps. And I'd love to hear what you do to close out your workday. Do you have a routine, a ritual, a cue that helps you with that transition and that integration? If so, go ahead and drop me a message. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Send me a message over there. Let's swap some ideas. Let's normalize ending our workdays well so that we can transition into the rest of our life even better.